Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pretty Smart. We are going to be hopefully wrapping up this whole Diddy thing, but I feel like there's going to be more coming out. But we will discuss what's happening, what now, what's the legacy, what's going to happen, and how does everyone feel about what's going on. Has anyone had any updates today? I did get a couple.
First of all, you said wrap up Diddy, no pun intended.
You
Wrap
know,
up, wrap up, people.
let's wrap this up because that's what I feel like they're doing
Wrap
now.
it
They're,
up.
they're getting to the end of the trial, so. So I thought that was very fitting. You know,
I want to hear
no pun intended there either.
I haven't
how.
received many updates, but what did you last hear?
Well, I
Yeah,
saw
Started
that.
dropping charges.
You said what?
They started
Oh, they're
dropping
I
dropping
charges.
haven't seen any updates
dropping the
either.
kidnapping charges
Well,
and
they're
the
going to drop charges. The whole point of giving you so many charges is that they get you on something. You know,
Hmm.
if they could bring you to if they could bring you to court for one charge, that would be great. But if that charge gets dropped, you get the L.
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
going to get a bunch of up charges, and a lot of times the strategy is getting you a higher charge so you can plead for a lower charge as well. That's also a
you get
strategy.
some,
Yeah,
That's a
hanging him with
shame.
some.
It's a
All
shame.
right.
yeah. Well, it's a shame. So it's that shame and not shame because we know how you can trump up charges for people who are more innocent that found guilty, but then it's 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 that damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's for those people that are guilty of things, making sure that they get something. Because if you have a really good lawyer and you can argue against certain things, you can get off on those things. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
Mm.
I don't know. I just feel like the innocent ones, they got to
Mhm.
take a charge regardless. It's just like it's not really fair. But I guess I get it. If you're trying to get somebody, if you think they're guilty of something, you want to make something stick. You don't want to waste people's
yeah,
money taking them to court and then you don't get anywhere with it.
yeah. Because like
They're getting somewhere.
racketeering and extortion is going to be higher than the kidnapping charges anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was more
Cat?
that they dropped. They dropped the kidnapping. What were the other ones?
They're
It was
dropping the what is it? The vandalism on the car. I think so.
Mhm.
arson. I think it was the
Yeah,
arson.
The
Yeah.
yeah,
arson.
yeah. Yep, they're dropping
I thought
those.
that one would have stick though. Like there was a witness there that said that Diddy did it. So
It,
how did
it
you drop
means what it means to me is they're trying to get it to a place where there's some type of plea deal, um, because that could be more successful. Also, you have to think about it like this: this is a case that could go on for several more years if you're not dropping some of the charges, and they want to get this done and over with.
They want it open and shut.
Yeah, reputation is already ruined. Meaning,
Yeah.
here's the punishment for Diddy. Let's say he gets off scot free and he gets to go back to his life. Okay, so people say, well, he got off. Well, they don't live like me, you, September, and Low. The things he was doing excites him, and he gets off on that. It ain't a lot of people with names attached to themselves that's going to be going to any parties in the future.
Right.
Nope, they can't unsee it. It's a lot of things that we can't unsee that's happened there.
It's
Yes.
Well,
going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot more everyday people having to go to the parties, and I don't know if it's going to flow like it did. But how do y'all feel about whether it's, I know we're just talking about data, whether it's Cosby, Weinstein, Epstein, whoever, how do y'all feel about these people that no matter how vile things get, because they love the music, they're defending these people today, even though they've never met them personally? When you're defending somebody you've never ever spent time with more than people that have spent time with them,
Mhm.
that's a problem.
we were
Right.
literally talking about this in this
Yeah.
house before we hopped on because I saw, not to deviate too much from what we're talking about, but it was with the R. Kelly trial. We watched some comedians go on
What the
a
Look, I got computer.
comedic standoff. Yes,
Look,
Antonio has arrived. He's
Oh my!
Oh,
How did that easily
Antonio.
just switch like
look,
that?
I got
They,
computer.
but
That's
but
insane.
no, so
Go ahead,
that was the
Lohi.
thing. They were arguing, when do you separate the art from the artist, and like, y'all know R. Kelly's done these things. There's documentaries, there's this and that, but you are fighting.
Uh-oh, the audio went out.
Yeah, you sound
Oh,
like you're
my
on
yeah,
audio?
mute.
like you
Yeah.
We
definitely.
can hear you now. I was reading the lips, so I still understood what you were saying.
Ah.
Yeah,
No,
she reading them big ass
no,
lips.
but you bring up a good point, and I'm kind of iffy on sharing my opinion because I'm kind of on the fence with as
Hmm.
far as like I do separate the artist from the actual person. A lot of the
Right.
artists and entertainers I would never hang out with a day in my life, but I love
Right.
their music. So it's like
Yeah.
for me, it's easy to separate it, and I don't agree with what he
Yes,
did. I don't, I believe he should be in jail. Punishment is punishment,
Right.
but as far as like canceling the music, it's music that I enjoyed. Like I have a hard time
Sure.
actually canceling the music. Like
I,
forget the person. I
I'm
don't forget the person, but the
Exactly.
music brought something to my soul that I just can't like just cut it off.
Yeah,
my
they did
my
have
thing
some
is,
good songs.
I'm not saying the songs were not good. I'm just saying, like, had you known what you know when the music was coming out, would it have been able to get as popularized? I don't
No,
think so.
I
I
think
think
so.
you
no,
probably would have shied away from it had you known,
no,
oh, this person's out here really messing with little girls.
no.
no.
I
This
think
person's
so
out here
because
really
think
beating
about
on
his
these women,
music.
and
So
Think
I
about his accomplishments. Like
It
he
wouldn't have.
definitely still had fans and still had records selling off the
Yeah,
charts.
for
No, but
sure.
that.
After they found out about that, they were just in denial, like, "Oh, that's probably
Okay,
not
hold
true."
on, hold
Even though
on,
that's
there's video, like there's video
well.
of this
He
happening.
hold
he
on,
already had an established
hold on,
audience. I think
hold
if he
on.
didn't already have an established audience, then it would be a lot less likely that he would be where he is now, and it would be a lot less likely that people are willing to defend him. If and it's the same with like any artists that are new and up and coming. If they have something like just came out where it's like maybe that album's really good, but you find out that they did like some offhand shit with whatever, you're not going to want to listen to the rest of their music, but you'll listen to what you already have.
Yeah, that's true. I
Okay,
get
so
you.
two things.
You go,
The
low.
Lo was saying if you knew this before they became an artist, would you have listened to them? It's mostly no because we've seen that in real life. And Taishay, you're being a little generous when you said records are still flying off the shelf.
No, no, I was talking about past tense, like after everyone
Oh,
found out about the girl. Because this whole R. Kelly stuff, this has been happening a long time. Like those videos were released a long time ago. So yeah, they were off the chart, off the
the
shelf.
anthologies and people getting like box sets, but that's normal. It's the same when somebody has any type of tragedy. But in terms of putting out a new album, that's where it's going to hurt because we've seen the artists when they put out new albums after large scandals and those records go triple cardboard.
Yeah.
September.
I wish you would get out of my face. I don't know
I
how to
love
make
when
you
it
get out
gets
of
a
my
little
face.
zoom in.
Get out of my face! Like, what the fuck is it doing?
What is happening?
I
Is that
think when you
better?
move to the
Oh my
side like
god!
this, that's when it starts doing it.
Yeah,
You
as
got to
soon as
stay
you
So
like
sat
that.
annoying.
back, it immediately just
Like,
Yeah.
I love the clarity, but it's so annoying. What the fuck is it doing?
Now the
Okay,
question is
hopefully,
for me though, like I feel like the music if I feel like the music still will, stand strong no matter what, who the
no,
artist
like,
is or what before or what happened, because you do have to separate the artist from the music.
it's
right.
Because it's
hard
a
from
lot of
that point
songs that I
because
still like.
What P Diddy
It-
songs are people
so
rocking right now, or even
Okay,
three
I was gonna
years
say
ago?
something about that because I feel like it depends on the influence that the music has on you. Because with R. Kelly, I
Hmm.
could still listen to the music, and even though I know some of the lyrics, I'm like, that's probably him talking about a minor, but I still enjoy it. With Diddy, he didn't have a big influence on my life like R. Kelly did. So when I do hear his music now, I'm like, turn it off. I don't want to hear
Even the
that shit
people that he
it's
had a
it's
big, even the people that he had a big influence on, they did a Bad Boys tour 8 years ago, and
and I went.
it wasn't even so that no one was going.
I
there's
went.
a bunch of songs that he like had a hand in, like a bunch of B2K songs that you're probably listening to that he had a big hand in. Um,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
mind you,
because
he
it's
doesn't rap,
fresh
but
too.
Well,
Because
no,
with R. Kelly, when that happened, I wasn't really listening to him, but now that he like that's already passed, like I'm kind of going back to listening to him. And
but
right
that's
now,
the
it's like with
question.
Diddy going through this trial, I don't want to listen to him right
well,
now.
you know the difference because
That's
when OJ's here, and I'm going to shut up because now I got to rearrange the boxes because everybody's here now. Deanna's here now, and now OJ's here. The difference with R. Kelly and when you're talking about P Diddy or Michael Jackson, all these things, there are songs that if you say, "Hey, top songs of this person," you can start rattling off R. Kelly songs until your fingers go numb. With
right.
P Diddy,
Hmm.
it's like, uh, da, 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 da. So, I mean, they were hot at the time, but like, you're not. There's no P Diddy songs that you're just like so enamored with that you can't be without.
That's what I
Right.
said.
Yeah,
That's what
like
I
it's
mean.
the
Like R.
Faith
Kelly has a
Evans
bigger
and P
influence.
Diddy song. What's the Faith Evans and P Diddy song?
Exactly.
That
I
they
don't
sung
know,
for Biggie,
Wait,
"Missing
Missing
You."
you. Yeah.
that's my
Yeah,
point.
Yeah.
like that's a song that's gonna play forever. Like I'm
but
just,
I ain't gonna
it's
lie. I'm
you.
gonna
That's my
play the
point.
Boys to
You're not
Men
on yet.
John before I
You're
play
not
that
on yet.
one.
You're not
I'm
on yet.
The
sorry.
Boys to
You're not on
Okay.
yet.
Men.
But September, that's my point. What you just said. What's the song with? You don't have to do this with R. Kelly and Michael Jackson. You just say the damn songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Facts. Yeah, that's
But
probably the only P Diddy song that I know for real. Like that, I'm like, all right,
No,
that I can
I
really
mean
think
I know
of.
some Diddy
but
songs.
that's where the question with what happens to legacies built on silence comes from. Like, where do you go from there?
Hmm.
Because everybody was so
It's no
silent on
longer
everything going up, and now things are brought to light. Like what? Like you now know. So it's like now am I gonna be openly? It's like listening to a rapist serenade to you in your ear, and you're just like, yeah, keep talking to me, even though I know what you stand for. Keep singing to me.
Ain't nothing but a number.
All
This,
right.
this
Keep singing to
show
me,
brought
because
to you by
that's what it is. Unfortunately, I hate that it is that way, and I know you want to say separate the artist from the art, but that's kind of what you do at that point. You're just like, oh, I know he out here messing with little women, messing with little boys, but keep singing to me.
Yeah, if I think if you're aware of like who the artist is whenever the music is playing, you can't do anything but think about what they've done. And like if you can separate the two, then I guess good on you. But like
You still supporting that,
I think most people can't, and even then, when you listen to their music, like Lo just said, you are supporting them. They do get royalties. They do get money when you listen to their music.
and they'll be using that money to
they,
continue
they
doing
were
what they're
already
doing.
getting these things before this case happened is what you guys have to understand. Like just because the case is out, like it was been silence, it's been silence. Like people knew this stuff was going on, but they still was, still putting the music out there. So just think about those people that was like literally right next to him that knew about what was
Right.
going on
Right.
and still pushed
Exactly.
those records and still did all of that. Like it's not gonna matter. It's
And
not
then
gonna
with
matter.
that, it makes you wonder, like, were they really in for the money? Like, once the money started going low,
Like
that's
it's
when
it's
they're like,
all
okay,
about
let
that
me,
for
yeah, because
sure.
they wasn't saying nothing when the money was good.
Mm-mm.
nobody.
They,
OJ's like frozen with his hand on his
Nobody
head.
says anything with the money was good. That was the heated argument we had when we did part one, where I was trying to say, people say, well, why didn't this person say this? Let's say you're on that payroll and you live an average life. You'd like to
Mm.
think that your morals are really high. But like I said, I'd like to think my morals are really high. But I honestly don't know if my morals change when I go to the ATM and it says 3,000,000,000 because I've never
Right.
had $3
Facts.
million. dollars.
Right.
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's true.
But I
Silence brought status. Like you got to think about that. Like you got to think about like whoever was being quiet and getting paid still, like, and how they silence this stuff, like this stuff gonna still go on no matter what.
I'm not gonna
It's still
say I'm a high morality person because, like Yanni said, had I been in the same situation to shut my ass up if somebody's gonna throw 1 million my way, 2 million my way, I'm gonna be like, I ain't see nothing, bitch. I
That's
wasn't
what I
here.
mean,
I
including the
am.
people who he violated. Like they did the same thing. They stayed silent for the money, and then once the money
I'm
Yeah.
started running low,
gonna
now they
clarify
want to fall victim.
something.
And I mean, they are victims. Don't get me wrong, they are
exactly, they
victims.
are victims,
But
but they
it's
did
like,
exactly
how
what
do
you
you want us to
said.
give you sympathy when you
When
let
you took money,
money take
yeah.
over your morals?
I do want
Yeah.
to clarify something. My shut upness does get dictated by the level of the crime and offense. Okay. If I
Hmm.
see somebody doing something a little shady, a little crazy, that's one thing. But if I see somebody get beat over the head with a frying pan and violently raped, I don't care how much money you give me. I'm not being silent on that matter. And I was supposed to say the
Yo,
I
R
know
word.
one thing. I know one
It
thing. A lot of people gonna be looking at different. That's becoming artists now. Is they're gonna be looking at those NDA forms now. Like that's the only thing that's gonna change. Like people, it's a lot of things that can't be unseen. So when you are becoming a new or upcoming artist, or even going in the same field or direction of P
right.
Diddy or Cassie, those things that people gonna start checking over now. That's one good thing. They're gonna start looking over those
And
things so they won't be put back into those type of
And to
situations.
add to your point, September, you'll even notice now, like the artists that are that are staying relevant, and you can see that they're not really affiliated with none of the BS. They really be
Mhm.
playing dumb at first, and all of a
Oh
sudden they'll
yeah.
come out and their music is real. You're like, oh, that's different. I didn't know you. You know, I like maybe y'all have been seeing that. Like Glorilla's a great example. I feel like she came
Okay.
out, she did the whole thing. People still feel like she's kind of in it, but if you actually sit and listen to her talk, she actually pretty intelligent and she manifested herself being into this position. So
Hmm.
like she said before she even blew up that she was like celibate for a time period or something like that. So it's
Yeah, she
like,
was.
you know, so it's a few different artists like that where you'll see like sometimes they just played the game correctly or they just played it dumb.
Like if those like you got to be smart about that type stuff, especially if you want to go in this type of industry. If you're gonna sing and any
You
of that,
know.
I guess. So
Right.
I
a
agree.
lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't have lawyers that will be backing them. Whether it's like parents maybe that are lawyers that may be backing them, but they don't have that. And like we said in the previous videos, unfortunately, the people who are bringing you in, because unfortunately, success is not earned; it is given. So somebody with success has to give you said success. So you see these successful people coming to you saying, "Hey, we like your shit. Shut the fuck up and sign this, and you're gonna have the same shit too."
Mm,
You're like, man, who is it? I fuck with Lil Wayne, so let's sign this shit. Let's get it going. Well, I fuck with Drake.
that's what they do too. They'll throw somebody at you and just be like, "Yeah, I know you like them, right? Like
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
like you
See what they
too."
got. They popping. We think your shit's popping too. Sign right
I don't
here.
know why this picture just came to my head, but have you guys seen the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. When
I
those
have.
chickens had to sign. Yeah.
Yeah, like it just popped in my head. I'm like, man, that kind of sound like it is exactly like how the producer was trying to still
It
make
is
him.
exactly
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, like it was crazy.
There's not a lot of jurisdiction in the music world or the entertainment world in general. So a lot of people get away with a lot of shit,
Yeah, because
and
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
it's not traditional labor, and so like the contracts, all of that is it's not as looked at legally, and honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of people end up signing contracts where like your body belongs to that
Yeah,
whoever you sign
Yeah.
a contract with.
That
Yeah.
is true. Yeah, Keone,
Either that or it'll be I remember at one point like the way Prince did is like and I'm sure y'all have heard it before where like he basically called himself the artist for a period of time to be able to
Artist
work his
formerly
way
known
through
as
some
Prince.
paperwork.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so
Well, two things.
it's
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Okay, it lagged, so I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're probably gonna
I get
explain it better than
that.
me.
Well, two things. We saw that happen to Michael when he kind of broke down at the end when he signed a contract being trusting. and they wanted him to do like 54 shows in like 65 nights, and he was like, "Are you insane?" But he's one of those people that if it's promised to his fans, he's gonna do it, and that
Hmm.
stressed him the hell out. And then there was a famous person called Walter Mercado. I don't know if any of you ever heard of him. He's one of the biggest astrologers that ever graced the planet. I think I mentioned in September. Not going to a
Oh,
long story, but his manager put in his contract that he signed that he couldn't even make money off of his whole name, not only in his country, not only on the planet, but in the contract, it literally said in the universe. That means if
the
this man flew to
universe.
Pluto, he couldn't use his
Yeah,
own name.
The universe.
that's not
Damn.
the first time I've heard that. It's like
That's
they'll say
crazy
like
work.
universal something, bro. Like you
And it's
cannot
in the
use
contract,
it,
and you sign it.
That's
Yeah,
and
that's
people
why
crazy.
want
you
to
got
try
to
to tell
read your.
me,
You got to read it, or you got to have a
Yeah,
lawyer. You got to
any
have a
con
lawyer to read that stuff.
It, yeah,
any
definitely a
contract.
lawyer because they
Wait,
word it
that
in
was
a
the
way
problem.
where you
That
don't
was the
exactly know
problem.
what it is you're signing.
Well, that was
Yeah,
the
they do
problem.
do that.
The lawyer is the one who shafted him. He gave it to the lawyer, and the letter says
I'm
everything
reading.
checks out because he couldn't trust the lawyer either. So it's the
Right.
trust.
Oh, you
Doesn't
talking about the
matter who.
lawyer? Right. Yeah. I don't know.
So I think that goes on to the next question. Then, what does justice look like for victims, for the industry, um, our memory?
It makes me wonder, like, what do they want out of this? Do they want him to go to jail? I'm
I mean,
sorry.
like we're starting to like
Okay.
it's starting to become a like a thing, but in general, we have to become more serious and crack down on entertainers when it comes to stuff like this in general,
Yeah,
because they really just get the benefit of the doubt or the plea. Like it's genuinely unbelievable how many people will jump to either side of the fence, no proof, no
right.
information, and
Hmm.
next thing you know, it's like it actually does influence a decision or it actually does influence something, and now you've destroyed somebody's life, you
Right.
Right.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know
And
what,
to kind
OJ?
of tie into that, what Keone was saying about how, like, people will defend artists that they've never met in their life.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that. And then it's like,
And
it's a
How
slap in
does
the
that
face
make you
to
feel?
and on
victims.
the other end, it's like they'll go at artists that they know nothing about. They could have not done it at all, and then you're calling them like all types of things, saying all
Yeah,
types of
that's
stuff about
true.
them. You know.
Yep, that's true.
It's the crackdown, like OJ said, when you said, what do they want to happen? It's gotten to a place where it's serious. You got to remember, Elvis got away with, you know, dating and then marrying dating a person that was underage and ended up marrying them. Woody Allen has done it. People have been doing these type of things and they've not been caught. Jeffrey
Hmm.
Epstein was the first big one, but no, it was Bill Cosby. Then they thought, well, they're just going after the black entertainers. You know how we got on that? They're just trying to take down our kings. Then Jeffrey Epstein came. I bet you Harvey Weinstein never thought his ass was going to get caught
Diddy
up.
Jaws King.
And
Huh?
and Loda,
Diddy is Jaws King.
I'm crying.
No,
I
no.
hate
When
when they say that. Like, they try
Yeah.
to take down our kings. Like,
And like
man.
part of it is like
yeah.
it.
And now there's consequences.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
won't stop if there's no consequences.
right. I'm glad that they're doing that though. So it sheds light on the other ones that haven't been caught yet that are still out there doing
Mm.
it.
And Loda, answer your question of like how I would say I feel about it. Honestly, it's terrifying because you have to really think there's literally a certain like there has always been a certain level of darkness in the music industry, right?
Yeah.
And so it gets to a point where it's like, all right, say you genuinely just it's kind of like what SZA said at one point, like you're green to industry, like you're just trying to make music, just love what you do, and then you get affiliated with like ill-gotten people who are just trying to like use you for this, and that until you find the right space. It sucks that you can literally be like a gifted 13, 14-year-old kid, kind of like Chris Brown. I don't come
Didn't
at
that
me
happen
about
to
the
him?
details and stuff, but I don't know. I'm not going. There's details and stuff I don't know because it's like You could talk about him. You could talk about Usher and Justin Bieber when they came up and they was involved deep with Diddy and stuff. Like it gets deep because it's like, dang, I'm just trying to do what I got to do, and now I'm having to mess with this man Pepper. Like I ain't signed up for that,
Yeah.
But now I'm in front of 60,000 people when
You're
I was
paying
in
the
front of
cost to
20.
be the boss.
But
Right.
what cost though? Like like I'm
Well,
essentially scarred or I sell my morality,
right,
you know,
That's the thing. People like morality means nothing to anyone these days. It's
right.
until
money
they
and
realize
attention.
what it does
Money
mean.
and attention is what everyone's looking for.
And then, like, added on to that is it's so normalized to like sexualize younger artists and like people who are coming into the industry, and so like it makes it even easier for like the people that these younger actors, musicians, all of the people coming into the industry, for them to get abused or like treated in that kind of way because society like you're getting paid to do all this stuff. You're an adult now, so we're going to treat you like an adult.
Mhm.
And but they're not,
Textiles.
and there's so much trauma that comes with that.
Because the
Trauma.
other part of it is like I feel like another part of it is with that type of public humiliation, we become really desensitized to it and it gets really diluted when it's like, no, you got to understand that most of these people, we're not talking about just 100,000 followers, 500. No, some of these people have like 2 million followers
Right.
on one platform. So imagine you have like all your platforms and all of them are trashing you. And it's like you're dealing with outside people when all you can't even open your phone no more. And now you got all these people calling your phone, friends and family, of just like, yo, what's going on? You actually can't, there is nobody to communicate with. Like there is nowhere to go, nowhere to talk to. You essentially have to throw your phone away
And
to an
then,
extent.
well, and then out to like move even further on that, the fact that they feel comfortable doing it to like people coming into the industry. When you're that big and when you're that big in the industry, everyone else is kind of like a nobody to you, especially if they're not in the industry. And so you feel even more comfortable doing that with people who aren't, and like
Yeah.
Who don't believe?
underage or otherwise. It's just like I have the money, I can do whatever I want.
And why is it always the unattractive ones? That's the thing that always gets me too. Like, if I'm going to be violated, can it at least be somebody who's drop dead sexy? I made a
It,
But
comment
you,
on
They getting it
YouTube the
thrown
other
at
well,
them.
the thing is,
They don't have to do
yeah,
nothing for
right.
nobody. It's getting thrown at
so,
them.
Like it's not getting thrown at them. The only way for them to get it is
but
for
see,
them.
look,
I
clearly
made
none of us in
I
here
made
can
a
really like understand that perspective, right? So
yeah,
if
that's
we
why I
put
brought it up.
Wait, what
ourselves,
do you mean by that?
He
Wait.
just called us
Yeah,
all
like what do
attractive. We're gonna let it
I
go.
called all of us
It wasn't like
attractive.
I was, no, 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 no.
okay.
So the reason why I said that is because I made a comment on YouTube the other day because I was watching videos preparing for this, and I was watching these videos of these teachers and people who were got caught sleeping with teenagers and stuff,
Right.
right? And the fucking teachers, the females were pretty freaking hot. So I made a comment. I said, "Listen, I know this is gonna sound terrible, but I'm just being honest.
I already know
I
where you
was
went.
abused twice as a kid, and they didn't look like that."
Yeah,
So
and I did want to bring
I
that
don't
up
want
too
anybody to be abused, but I'm like, damn.
because we take it serious when girls are, molested or taken advantage
Hmm.
of. But it's a lot of men that get molested,
Oh
and
my
we just like,
gosh.
Yeah.
especially
Well,
if it's like a woman touching on a young boy, it's like, oh, he
Mhm.
like that, he's fine, he'll be all right. But that
She's just
traumatizes them,
showing him
right?
the lay of the land.
I don't know if y'all ever seen it.
Crazy.
I know Keone probably has, but there is literally an episode on South Park where they have like a whole thing about um it was Ike, the little brother, I think of Stan, and he ends up having a relationship with his teacher, and the teacher starts it, and they're like, "Hey, yo, this teacher is having sex with this kid," and they're like, "Oh my God, he's doing what?" They're like, "No, no, she's having sex with him," and they're like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
Like,
they look at it differently because she's
yeah,
a teacher and he's a young kid, and they like
well,
they
it's like it's that stigmatism where it's like men should always want to have sex with women.
because
Men
the
always want to have
hormones
sex
and
with
the
women. So it's like there's no way that they were coerced into it or like that they had this happen to them against their will or any of that. And it's like I've heard stories where like guys woke up to like girls on top of them and stuff, and like they didn't want
Hmm.
it, but it's like you're hard, so obviously you wanted it. That's
But
not
that's
how
not.
monogamy works.
No.
Yeah, I do have a question about that, but I'm gonna let that one slide.
I,
But no, I did want to say like I forgot what I was gonna say. That just
You can ask the question now.
Ask the question. At this
Go
point,
ahead.
at this
Yeah,
point,
just ask the question.
I'm about to
hilarious.
say he's definitely Simon.
Oh
Not gonna
God,
lie,
I'm
I've always
Alvin.
identified with Simon, so I'm okay with that.
I'm definitely Alvin.
I'll be
No,
Theodore.
but
I'll be
okay,
Eden.
so I do want to ask though, like, even though, like, 'cause I do feel like men are hornballs, like, y'all are always horny, or sex is always on y'all's
I hate
mind.
when y'all do that
When y'all,
because
I
Hold on,
know.
Keone.
So,
Can
Let
I
him
like,
finish
can I
the
take this
question.
one? Yeah,
so
go
when,
ahead.
so like Antonio was saying, like, a girl could be like, oh, but you're hard, like, you obviously want this. So in y'all's mind, what are y'all thinking in those situations? Like, yeah, I'm horny, but I don't want that. Is that
All
is
right.
that
I
weird?
mean, sometimes
I,
like you
a
don't
lot of
even have control of it because there.
it, it
I'm
does
getting a
it
little
on its
personal.
own a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm
So,
getting personal here, but like
It's natural.
there have been many times where I was not horny or like I was genuinely just not in the mood, but blood rushed there anyway, and it's one, it's irritating when it happens, but
Yeah.
two, like if other people see that, then they're assuming that I'm thinking something sexual when I'm not.
So I'm gonna be real
That's
with you, right?
tough. That's really tough.
You guys are around the wrong group of people. That's crazy.
huh?
I'm gonna be
No.
real with you.
no,
So like,
we're on the world, and that's what's happening.
No, but he
so
said he's saying like for somebody to think that like when it's normal, that's natural for a guy to have that in the morning, especially when they're waking up.
Yeah,
Like it's just
like
normal. That's
especially in
normal.
the
I mean, I
morning.
have boys, so I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's
But
natural if it's your
yeah.
kid, but when you lay it next to somebody and they turn around and poke you, that might get you like, "Oh, okay, is it that time?"
You're like, it's that time
Yeah,
today,
but like
yeah, and you're like,
even
no,
then,
damn it.
it's like
Exactly.
I mean, you should
As
be
you
able to
get
be like,
older,
no, like
as you get
that's the thing
older,
is
you'll
like if it's
appreciate
not
it.
that time,
Yeah,
you can vocalize that.
yeah,
But men
yeah.
don't, and
yeah, why
that's the
wouldn't you
issue too.
vocalize
Like
that?
But
women, we could easily do that, but I feel like men, they're used to being silenced. So it's like, no, like I can't say that I don't want this because then I'm
If
gonna
that
be
person
labeled
is going to
something.
take
That's
advantage of you, no, they don't
That's
care about.
yeah,
so
No,
I'm
They
gonna
already
say
on top
this.
of you, all right?
I like
They
what
didn't figure
Shay
this is my
just
time to
said.
oh,
strike
you keep
hands.
OJ keep freezing up. Like
I
I'm
like
thinking
what
he just
I
Let
cut
me
us
Shay.
tell
off.
you, and then he makes a face, and it freezes when he makes a face. Like
I'm
he doesn't
crying, bro.
cockeye.
So
I
OJ,
like what Shay
shit.
just said.
if you go into your task manager and close out like unnecessary tasks, it'll help.
Are we giving a?
That's what happened
I
to
I
keep
me.
like what
freezing up for real.
Shay just said.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
sorry, what'd you
Oh,
say,
I do got a
Keely?
lot of
I thought
stuff
she
open.
wasn't
My
feeling the
fault. Hold on.
conversation for a
I
second.
said I like what you just said because with men, it's such a so men, even ones who don't have this problem, the worst thing a man could think of sometimes is when it's time to perform, not being able to perform.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
always, and we're just talking about in that spectrum when you're thinking about that, not being able to perform. So sometimes, when that does happen and you're not in the mood and that like it's a performance issue or you feel slighted when somebody wants to be pleased by you and you're not in the mood to please them, you get an attitude for that. So as much as women talk about us being horny when we're trying to like not go there, you get an attitude. Not you, Taisha, in September, but
Right.
you get that attitude about it. And then now when you want some, because we like to bring up old shit, ladies. Oh, well, I wanted something the other day you wouldn't want to. Like, so I had to sit on the dryer.
I'm weak as fuck.
Yeah,
No,
well,
Why
you
but
you
know
pay,
that
that
is a common thing.
Honey, why you pay for the store? What happened to all the cucumbers you bought yesterday?
They got condoms on them. You can't use them no more.
I just,
You
yeah.
get what I mean? Like, that whole area is such a sensitive topic because
Mhm.
people know how to strip your manhood from you when they want to. So you're always
ain't.
trying to keep your manhood up.
Am I better now? Am I more stable?
No,
No.
No,
No.
you're
Feeling
frozen
standing.
standing
I'm
What do
up.
you
telling
mean? Are you
I'm
sitting?
telling you. I'm
It
telling
looks
you,
bro.
like
go into
I'm
it
your.
looks
I don't
like
know
well.
if you got a
the
MacBook or
donkey.
something, but open up your task
Nah,
manager.
bro. I know what the fuck the task
Now
manager
you're
is.
Go to
I
processes. And when you go to
Why
the
you cussing
processes,
though?
go to those background
now you're fine.
processes.
Low. That's not going to help. He's on a Commodore.
Oh,
my CPU is only running at 20%,
shutting up,
bro. That's
shutting
what I'm
up,
trying to tell you.
shutting up.
Let me just restart, bro. I'll
Can
be
it
back
stop?
in
And
like
he's
two
on Windows
seconds.
92.
Ah,
All right,
Try to make him
now.
look
Okay,
pretty.
so Keone, you said unless there's dollars attached to the NDAs, and we still don't know what anyone is doing behind closed doors through
So I was
juice.
mentioning that to you and OJ was two different things. So you were talking about people going to look closely at those NDAs. Well, they look at them closely now, but if there's a dollar amount attached to those NDAs, you're right back to the problem where we started. And then when Juice was talking about Glorilla, this has nothing to do with Glorilla. When are we going to learn that whatever we
Well,
see, whether it's on social media, TV, is we still don't know what's happening behind them doors?
mhm.
How many more people are going? We're going to be. I'm not surprised anymore when they say, "Can you believe such and such did what?" Oh my God, I'm shocked. I'm like, why? I lost my surprise shock value when it comes to sexual deviance when they had the entire Catholic priest scandal 20 years ago. If you
Yeah.
Okay.
trust
So
damn
you
priest,
saying those NDAs don't even matter?
well, if they have dollar amounts attached to it, we're right back where we started.
mhm.
NDAs were meant to not put out information in the entertainment industry about upcoming projects and things like that, and it just veered off into a whole bunch of other area.
Just a whole
Exactly.
different right.
And
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
They
do
they
think
found ways to make
that's
you
something
quiet.
that should be harped on legally is like NDAs should only be used for industry things, not for personal things.
Hmm.
Agreed.
So
I mean,
who's
that's
gonna
how it should have
be
been. Like
who's
that's
gonna
how it
govern? Who's gonna
started out.
govern it?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Ain't
That's
nobody gonna
true.
govern that.
Yes, Antonio, it should be
Yeah,
for sure.
because I think that's what a lot of it is that like
Who is that?
Whose
Who's
phone is going on?
outline blinging like a mug? Um,
Rude.
but
I
it
didn't.
completely caught me off my train of thought. But like
So what's it in it like? So if I say I went to go hang out with Taisha and she didn't have me sign an NDA. What does NDA mean? Does that mean like nigga did you ask?
no,
Non-disclosure agreement.
not yeah.
Oh shit! I thought it meant nigga did you ask?
Non-disclosure
Oh
No,
my
it's
gosh.
non-disclosure agreement. Uh,
agreement.
He knew what that meant.
I know.
Damn.
He
so,
fucking knew.
sometimes I wonder.
Nigga, did you ask? That's a good one. That's a
That
I
is
need
good
to
one.
hear.
Cause did you? Or did you
I
just
need to
sign? Did you
hear.
just look? Did you
Right.
read this?
Well,
Nigga,
one
did
thing
you?
I'll say my grandfather always said, and one reason why I don't get shocked when something happens to me when I do something I shouldn't have no damn idea of doing. If you do not want to be compromised, do your best to not put yourself in compromising situations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we
Yep.
got
I got
people
stories on
back.
that I won't share, but I know
Hmm.
Like,
exactly
well,
what you mean.
Oh, me too.
Shay. No,
remember
you
when
gotta
you
share.
remember when the ladies looked at me side eyed when I said I was married, and then at work that girl that was flirting with me came and she sat in my lap and I stood up and she fell on the ground and hit her head on the little trash can. And people go, "Why would you do?" I'm like, because this ain't the movies. I know how this works. She's sitting on my lap. I could be telling her to get off, and that's the one time my wife decided to drop by to surprise me for lunch.
And
And
now
who
I'ma
was
die.
on my lap? How am I going to explain that? Well, baby, it's not what it looked like.
She's gonna be like,
That's
you
the
a
Sometimes
worst
damn
thing to
lie.
say.
That
Worst thing to
Say,
say.
I feel like a
save
lot of people's
yourself at this
intuition be
point.
off though,
Save
because
yourself.
they be in
Now,
situations where it's like you should have known this was about to happen, like that. I
okay,
don't know if it was Nelly
yeah.
or Chris Brown where they had the tour bus and they were inviting ladies late at night, and
Mhm.
girls were going on there, and then they wanted
It's
to
like, what
get
do you
all
expect is gonna happen?
sexual,
It's late at
and then yeah,
night.
there was a girl that was like, I don't want to do it, and they kicked her off, and she
Yeah.
like tried to file a lawsuit, and it's like, what do you think was gonna happen late at night on a tour bus?
you feel
With
me?
your favorite artist
Like,
who's a very
You
don't
know
sexual.
walk
we
into
wanna
your own
like you
trap.
know they wanna smash, bro.
That's why it's a
If you would,
problem. Even though I don't want to blame a victim, I'm never going to blame a victim. I'm never going to say, but if you go in
You
this
gotta have some
room
amount of
with
street
five
smarts.
football players and you're a girl and you look around, the only person in the room is five football players. Oh, thank you guys. I gotta go.
Yeah,
Period.
if
Bricked
it's
Because
just
up,
why are
you,
you gonna sit there and
ready for
stay?
your.
Oh, but I thought I was
if it's
just
just
hanging
one
out with
girl,
the
you the only
boys.
girl, and it's five guys. Like,
I
come
thought
on
I
now,
was just
Nick.
Come
hanging
on
out
now,
with the
bro.
boys.
Well,
Yeah,
hey
that
to
that
hear.
kind of stuff is
Yeah.
like
That's a
you're
clear
victimizing
indication.
yourself.
So, ladies, this is what you do. If you find yourself in a room with five fine football players, what you do is you leave, you call me, and give me the room number.
I know that's
You know,
right.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, no,
like,
me too.
you
Invite
know,
me.
Go ahead and send me that
Invite
number.
let me
me.
not say what I was gonna say.
Invite me, please.
Because
All
there
right.
do
Y'all
be
gotta scratch
situations
my
like
head on
that where
that
some
one.
people don't care. Like, if I want to be taken advantage of, I'm gonna be taken advantage of, and no, I'm not gonna fall victim for that because that's what I wanted.
No, right. Five, like, get out of here. Like, what do you, I love me.
So, Dion, so OJ and Dion, are they
If
saying
you,
there's a difference
if you're
between
a football player.
no? Are they saying there's a difference between no and a difference between no and no? Stop.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
Huge difference.
It
there
depends on
is.
where you at, the scenario.
Hmm.
But you got to play it safe. You got to play it safe because some women will, trick you like that. Like I said, no, no means no, but they was
Yeah.
really like, no.
But see, if I start, never mind.
No means no.
Start up.
No, absolutely. Don't hold on. Now that can be taken the wrong way. No, absolutely means no. But I'm
No
gonna
Why are
give
you
one
you
must
saying it
talk
all
about
You
you
be
different?
like,
first.
no,
there
you
is
can't.
that's what I'm now that right there.
But
That's
at
where
that point,
things.
that's when you should
But
just be like, all right, like until you say
But no,
yes,
look,
I'm gonna
that's what
just
I
back
do
off.
though. That's what I do though. I'll be like, so real talk though, not to kill the vibe, but are you being for real or are you playing? And then it's like,
you
I'm
start
serious.
asking
I'll do
questions.
that, and then
Smart.
that's when we get back to like, all right, so then, like, what's
Yeah,
up?
as you should get clarification at
Yeah,
all times.
and
And that's
like
Some
why
people
Yeah,
they might want to
definitely
be like
ask
nice, but
questions.
not like they want to let you know that they ain't feeling it, but they want to be nice about it. So it may come off like a no,
yeah,
like
yeah, that's fair.
flirtatious, but it's
No,
like
yeah, like,
if they say no, it means no.
Yeah,
Either
no,
walk away
I
or get
missed out on
clarification.
several opportunities because of that.
yeah, no means
It is
no,
what it is.
and
It is
It
what it
is
uh,
what
is.
it is. They were upset. I wasn't. I said, well, that's maybe you should be more direct.
Period. Period.
that's why you record, right? You
Wow.
record.
I wouldn't do that.
He
Nobody
got his
caught
he got his
or
NDA on the recording.
You're like,
you said right at first, and then you realized what he meant.
no,
you
because
said,
there's a video, and thank God the guy recorded. There's a video of this guy. He went out. They came back to his apartment, and she wanted to stay. He said it's time to go. She called 911, and she was frantically saying she's in this guy's house. She doesn't know where he is. He won't let her leave. This dude is chilling on the couch recording her, and she's on 911 wearing his shirt. She passes the front door like 17 times while she's on the phone with 911, saying, "He won't let me out. He won't, I don't know where I am." And luckily, he recorded every single thing. And the cop was like, "Man, you passed the front door 20 times. You walked over to him trying to snatch his phone out of his hand. What do you mean you
That's
couldn't
karma,
leave?"
man, at its finest.
psychopathic behavior.
It's like Hallie and DDG. I
God
don't
don't
know.
like
I don't know.
ugly.
I don't know shit.
Oh,
I'm
we ain't
just
gonna
being
get
dramatic.
yeah,
I'm just being
don't
dramatic.
even go
I'm
there.
just being dramatic. I'm being
I don't even
messy.
know
I
what
have no
happened.
details. I'm on neither side. I'm just being dramatic.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened.
Go
Like,
ahead
what
and
happened?
finish. Go ahead and finish what you was gonna say.
I had that was it.
He's trying to start some shit.
I don't
Interesting. He
know.
thought
I'm
he
not
had
on
to
either
I got
side.
some
I'm
details.
not picking sides because I don't know them and I don't know what
I got
personality type
details
they
on
are.
it,
I don't
and
even know what
I
Just
happened.
have
just
Now that
watching
we put
details.
videos
it
of
together, then
DDG,
it
he's a
wasn't.
whole weirdo. I'm
They're
sorry.
both they're both in the wrong.
I
Him
can't
being
even
a
say that because
weirdo
I
I
mean,
is
don't
like he
know.
like
I just
halfway
don't know.
weird.
All I know
I'll
is
give you
DDG is
that.
weird as hell. He a weirdo. That video
look at
that
you.
what's her name recorded, that was weird as
I don't know what you're
I
talking
forget what
about.
her name is, but she's like she's a model and she's married to one of the football players. I forget her name though. But she was just recording like because she was creating content at a restaurant and he walked up and she was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Well, I seen you post your location, so I decided to pop up." Like,
Shawty, hold
no,
on,
that's
Shawty.
just
No, no,
weird.
no, 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 no,
It
no,
is
no, 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 no,
weird.
no, no. That was
But she
taking.
shouldn't
So
have
you
posted her
seen? So
location.
no. All right, so look, I've actually like watched DDG's channel for a while. The allegations
Excellent.
and stuff, I'm still on no side. I'm still on no side. Genuinely, like, that's beyond me. But I will tell you, as far as like what you seen, that was taken very much out of context in that clip. The same way stuff in Hallie's clips that they be pulling can be taken out of context.
Explain,
He
because yeah,
he's a
how?
vlogger. Like the way
Yeah, he
DDG actually
technically
vlogged, he
does.
genuinely like streamed every single day, like
I'm gonna
80% of
cut it.
his day.
I'm gonna cut it.
And
This is about Diddy, not Diddy G. All
Streams
right.
for a long time.
I
Not
mean,
But
they
I'm
Diddy
just
G.
asked,
We're
saying,
talking
they
like,
about
asked,
wait,
they
Diddy.
asked, they asked.
what
I'm
does
not
him
trying to like.
vlogging have to do with him walking up on her at a restaurant where he was not invited? I get it's a public place. He could go wherever he wants to go,
They
but
were
he
already talking,
He
like
was probably
kindling
trying to
up
have
and
a
stuff.
viral moment.
They would thank you. It's
this is
like
so weird. Like,
she was caught off guard, but was she like
very
scared
much,
or
and she looked
worried about
uncomfortable.
him? No, she wasn't worried about him.
She probably
Well,
got a
yeah,
lot
he
of
don't look
views
like
from
he's
that.
that guy, but
And
he's
then and
weird.
then that was when like him and her were both like 18, 19 at that point. Like
I
they were
know
like
he
super
was getting
duper
weird a long
young.
time ago before he
I'm
got
not
with.
saying it wasn't weird, but it can also be taken out of context if you don't watch like a whole video that he is in or some shit. Like it can be taken out of context with so many different things on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
he
it could
did
be
that.
trying
like
to
things he
like
was doing.
With him, he's just weird. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not trying to say he didn't do shit wrong, but I'm just letting you know, at least in that clip, that can be taken out of context.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because he's a
Well,
content
anyways,
creator.
yeah, back to Diddy. Because well, since we're back on this, OJ, what is your stance on Diddy? Innocent, guilty? Should he be put in jail, thrown
Nah,
away the key?
he guilty, bro. I'm
He's
sorry.
guilty.
He's guilty. Like,
Hey, you saying lock him up,
um,
throw away the key.
Hmm.
I'm not a throwaway the key type person, but I definitely say like punish him. Like punish that man. Um,
What do you think he's guilty
people
of?
I mean, he definitely like beat Cassie. We saw
No
that.
battery.
So he's definitely battery, definitely sexual assault. It gets to a point where regardless, fake or not, if it's like I feel like once we start hitting like double digit sexual assault cases, you will have an actual issue. Like that's an actual problem, you know. It's only so many things that can get falsified when it comes to sexual assault. You know what I mean? Like there it gets to a point where you at least have to have had sexual encounters or intimate encounters with multiple people for these things to be falsified if we were to say that, right? So to me it's like say for the sake of like how law puts it, innocent till proven guilty. Say all this stuff is alleged that Diddy did. First of all, why is it so detailed? Every single story about stuff he said and stuff he did and people that are there. Why is there so many people that can give vivid detail? Why are there so
Mhm.
many examples and
They
just
don't know each
evidence
other.
and just casual like you just trying to be yourself? You're like, damn, I ain't gonna lie, you getting weirder and weirder. Every time I see you talk, you getting weirder and weirder. Some things just kind of start falling out the mouth. Like it's kind of like when you've been dating somebody and they've been cheating for a minute, but you just kind of waiting for it to like for them to snitch on themselves, or like you just know that they've been kind of ill about it. You're just like they just small shit just start slipping out, like getting careless and shit. It's just like, all right, so you
It
either
comes
gonna
to
tell me or now I gotta drop the bomb on you. I'm just trying to be respectful about it, you know.
So,
It's
do
too
you
many people.
anyone believe in like the conspiracy theories that have been going around? Especially with that, I don't know if it whatever it was, it tequila or whatever company he was going back and forth with, and he wanted to take to
someone
court,
that did
and they
the
was like, "We're
dope.
gonna ruin you," and then all of
No,
a sudden, all of these cases came out, and people were suing him left and
no,
right.
no.
Halfway, because I feel like it could be a thing of may it have been true? Yes, but does that mean the stuff that he did isn't true? No. Just
Feds don't
like
roll in conspiracy, and they were looking into it even before that was brought up. They've been building that case. They've been building it for a while. That once they put their eye on you, they never let go, and they
Yeah,
just keep putting things in the in. They just keep putting things in the file. Huh?
that's why. you'll even notice in like TV shows and shit, you notice how on the drug dealer side, like the whole team will change because people getting killed and locked up, all this. And on the cop side, it'd be the whole team stay the same for 10 seasons. And it might be one person that gets switched out, and that's it. But nobody ever, if y'all ever notice that. When it's the feds, the whole time, them actors are the same. Everybody else, you be seeing a re-roll of
I,
like different characters.
I want you guys to watch a short video. I was going to show it before we got out. It's not involving the Diddy, but I meant to show. I was going to show it on Tuesday, but we didn't do the episode. One of the arguments that we got into when we did part one, September was there when we talked about men coming out and saying things, or men trying to express themselves, and one of the ladies on the show said, "Well, why don't you just come to women?" And I was like, "Well, that's not always easy." In September, you said, "Well, women are nurturing. I understand why, because you're a good mom," and that's not everyone's experience. I gave the experience of when those two things happened to me as a child. The two people I went to were women, and they both failed me miserably. That doesn't mean I'm casting off women and saying that they're not the ones that can handle it. So this video has nothing to do with the M word or R word, but I don't know if you've seen it before. It's a counselor trying to talk to a mom, and this one hits me deep because I wish this counselor would have been there with me and my mom. And I want you to listen to what the young man says, and then listen to what the counselor says, and then I'd like your all of your responses about it before we get out of here. All right?
Okay.
Run that.
Yeah, or hurt or value. Yeah, that hurt him. He said that because that's when he broke down, and I just in the way he changed his voice, I can show you. When he said that his friend died and a dog died and something else happened, he says whenever he's going through a bad day or he's going through something out there, or whatever he's dealing with, he don't feel he can come talk to you about it. And then when he does talk to you about little things or whatever has happened, he doesn't get that same kind of like concern or that love or that coddling. Again, he's a child. He's 16, but he ain't grown. He's still a baby. He's 16. He's a kid. So they still be needing that attention, particularly from their mom. So if he's in an environment where he's seeing dad and mom argue, fight, he's seeing hostility and things going on, and then he's dealing with his own personal struggles out in the world, and then he's dealing with some other stuff mentally, and he's struggling like that. That's a lot.
He's feeling like with his
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
That
or
is,
hurt or value. Yeah, that hurt him. He said.
dang it, that is the second part of the clip. That is not the full clip I want to say. So let me give you a little backstory. The young man had just finished talking, and he was telling the counselor, I just she nags me, she eggs me on, and she tries to get me angry. If she's having a bad day, everybody in the house is having a bad day. If she has a bad day at work, then everybody here has a bad work. The way she talks to me and my siblings, it's not even as a place of discipline. She's trying to make us angry, and then we lash out, and then we get punished more for that. I came to her because a friend of mine died. My dog died. She didn't want to hear any of it. She was basically like, man up. But she gets to throw all of her emotions on us. And if you saw the whole time he was talking, the way the boy's leg was shaking, it was
He
very
was
hard.
shaking.
Yeah,
Wiping his
it was very
nose.
hard. And his voice was cracking. He was like, you don't treat us like people. You don't treat us like children. You treat us like we're things that are in your way. And when we come to you, and the thing that stuck me was when you're having a bad day, because this was how my mom was. If she's having a bad day, everyone's having a bad day.
Dead
What do
ass.
you guys comment on that? I'm going to try to find the first part of the clip. Go ahead. I'll listen to your comments while we're talking. While you're talking.
I think that type of situation when it comes to children in situations like that to where they feel like they can't talk to their mom, um, I think that's sad. I mean, and I think it's more of the mom that needs the help versus the child that needs the help because how the mom is reacting towards the child and the child don't understand it, so the child is thinking that she's just
It's
not
their fault.
caring. No, the
Hmm.
mother really needs some deep therapy or help from her trauma or whatever she's going through.
Very
And it
true.
sucks that at that age that you feel like you can't talk to your mom about those type things. Like, and to see him shaking was heartbreaking. I have kids, and I would never want my kids to not feel like they can't come to me and tell me about their friend dying or their dog dying, and me just going off telling them to toughen
Get
up
over
and
it.
all of these things. Like, no, I'm going to definitely have a different type of conversation. Like, oh, well, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like what? How did that make you feel? Or like, yeah, like I'm not about to be just like toughen up, and that's how you know it was. It's more the mom's going through something. The mom needs to
Mm.
get some
Mhm.
type of mental check going on there to be like, okay, the whole house is gonna be angry if I'm angry. Like, no, she needs to fix herself.
Everybody
Okay.
going to sleep.
Yeah, not to justify that at all because it is wrong, but I'm willing to bet she's a single mom. And I feel like just me observing, a lot of single moms feel like they have to be that dad role of like, oh, you better toughen up, you know? I feel like for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I don't have to do that because my son's father is there to be that toughness and I'm the nurturer. So my son is always going to come to me when he wants to be nurtured versus, going to his dad, but he does get that disciplining side from his dad. So I feel like it's a
Yeah,
good balance. But when mothers don't have that in the home or don't have that at all, they feel like they have to do both. And she's
Uh,
struggling, and I feel like she's bringing in
she
generational
Hold
curses,
on. Pause,
and it's like
Taishay,
we need to
because
change
I'm
them.
doing pause, Taishay, because I'm doing you a disservice because I didn't show you the first part of the clip. What you said is 100% correct. It just doesn't pertain to this mama. Sometimes you're just a shitty parent. So let me show you.
Okay,
I'm
that's what I
serious.
said. Not to justify her, but
Yeah,
just
like
observing
no,
her.
because I've been a single mom
no,
and
I
a
couldn't find
parent
the
oh,
raising.
first.
these my guys. Let's
Yeah, I,
go.
I couldn't find the first clip, so I'll put it in the chat. It's from Abba and Preach. I just found it on them. They did an episode. Yeah, I like watching them too. So let's hear the first part. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna blow it up so they can see that it's from Abba and Preach as well, because I suck at the whole giving proper credit thing
Yeah,
correctly.
these dudes
Okay,
are
here we go.
awesome though.
I think a normal parent would.
You're saying she's provoking you. What you saying?
Repeatedly. And it's to the point where it's like, what else am I supposed to do? When I'm trying my best to stay calm and she's continuously trying to get you to where she's already at. And she wakes up and she's having a bad day.
Nigga, you gonna have a bad day. Did I just catch you trying to be happy? Bitch, not my house. That's the energy.
I
That's
understand
that
this too. I
generational
really
curse.
do. That's sometimes in the
Yeah.
Caribbean household, the only thing that you cannot.
She can never, if one thing in her day goes bad, it's just she has to make it all bad for everybody else. It's a consistent thing. And just the way she treats not even me. The way she treats my siblings, all that stuff, it's ridiculous. And the way she talks to my dad too. My dad isn't perfect at all, but he's changed a lot.
Yeah, or her, or value.
Oh, the father
Yeah,
is there.
Damn.
Father is
What?
definitely
The
present.
father's there, Keone.
I don't
Father's
know if the
definitely
father's
present.
there or the father's just in his life, but it's one of those things. And this is a tough thing too. But I'm about to start a whole nother episode. I always try to tell single moms if the daddy really ain't is shit, don't make it like he ain't shit because that's what happened to me. Because we all grow up, become adults, and start dating, get relationships, and then our eyes up and go, ah, So for 25 years, I thought my daddy wasn't bleep. And now me and my daddy are like this because I realized I had 25 years of delusional lies placed on me.
I feel
Um,
like we have to break these generational curses. I feel like that one is one.
Yeah.
I was just reading about a post that we were making fun of about how when you're a kid, if you have a good day, you can't have no more good days. Like stuff like that is generational curses. Like that's stuff that we got from our parents, they got from their parents, and I know me learning. My mom has broken a lot of generational curses, and it made me want to do the same thing. So it's like with my son, I teach him different things that my parents taught me that it kind of traumatized me as a kid. And like them taking accountability for it, it really helped me personally. So I just feel like a lot of these come from like generational curses, stuff we learned from our parents and we brought down to our kids.
Mm.
Especially the men when they go, well, I did this, so he'll be fine. Or I went through this and I'm fine. Or I went
I
through this and I was
hate
tough.
There's
when
You
people
there's a
know,
do
lot of
that,
I
looking.
bro.
so
think that
he gonna be all right.
situation,
There's a lot of
I feel
looking
like
into
they're going
what needs to
through
happen.
trouble. Like it's trauma in the home. I don't think that's a generational curse. Honestly, I think it's trauma from a divorce and she got kids and she taking care of those kids and she not getting no
Hmm.
help. The baby daddy doing this, like
Yep.
that's what I think that is. I
But
think that's where all of her anger comes from. It's not
Nah,
of how I was
Yeah, but it's
raised or
it
anything like
stems from
that.
like, oh, the dad's not there, but the son is saying like, my dad
we
is changing, and she's just still bashing him. And every guy goes through, well, not every guy, but most guys go through that, whereas like their mom bashes their dad and they feel a way about their dad, when really it's something that their mom learned from
Mad at
their
the
parents
dad.
or their
I'm not
friends or
even
whatever, and it's like,
concerned with the
oh yeah,
whole.
my baby daddy ain't shit. Like I can say that. That's easy to say, my baby daddy ain't shit, but I
She
would never
bitter.
say that.
The
Like
whole
I would
talking
never
Mama
about
tell my
bitter.
son that.
the whole talking about the
Mama
dad thing
bitter
is
and
like
taking it out on the kids
the whole
is what
talking
she
about
doing.
the dad thing is like the least bit of that. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that that
yeah.
kid was saying that ain't
Yeah,
got nothing to
for
do with the
sure.
dad. And again, we're getting a bunch of caveats for her. And I'm sorry, sometimes it ain't that.
She's
Sometimes
just a
it ain't the
shitty ass
drama.
parent.
Sometimes it ain't the generation.
She's just a
Sometimes,
shitty
Just
person,
a,
It's
okay?
definitely
just a
Like
not the
bad
I'm
generation.
parent.
I'm
She
gonna say this.
definitely needs some
I
help.
never call my mom a shitty person. She's not a shitty person, but even her dad used to look at her sideways and go, "Where did you learn this from?" Because you didn't learn this from. And her siblings are like, "Yeah, our parents." My mom was just different than the other five siblings. She was just different. And sometimes it ain't that. You grow up to be sometimes who you are, and it could be the dad, but that's just an easy scapegoat.
There's a
But
lot of looking inward that
Some
needs to
regard
parents
happen,
think that
and if it
kids are
doesn't happen
here
soon,
to do
Through her
exactly what
shadow.
the hell I'm
Yeah.
telling you. You don't have a personality. Shut the hell up and you do life the way I said, because it's my house, which they constantly have to remind you of, and it's my
Yeah.
rules, and yada, yada, yada.
It's unfortunate, but Keone's right.
regardless, yeah, regardless of any of the caveats or the possibilities of why a mom would treat their kids like that, at the end of the day, there's no excuse. Um, because even if they are going through all of those things, they need to recognize that they're going through those things, and they need to do what they can to get
To
themselves right
fix
for their
it.
kids.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yes.
they're in
not only
for
that, but
they're in for there's
but
no
it,
excuse for Diddy shit.
it also it does start that generational curse, especially if like the kids aren't in therapy along with the mom who should also be in therapy. um
Everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody in the situation needs to be in therapy.
Well, the
Yeah.
good
um
Mhm.
thing they got
but
the
Black
counselor
people don't go
there.
to therapy. They're not
They
gonna
got
do that.
the good
but
thing is well,
regardless,
no, they are low. She's got the counts. They got the counselor there.
Yeah, the
And she's
counselor,
ignoring that, and she's gonna
but
be ignoring the
she
hell out of
need
him.
she
but
need
She's,
counseling.
regardless
She
she's
is
need
sitting
one
there
on
ignoring
one.
the hell out of him.
is
They be
even
so
going
stuck
to
in their
therapy
It's
isn't
the
ways. It's
enough.
like
therapy classes.
you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like
Well,
Therapy don't work
That's
unless
not
you want
true.
it to work.
wait,
for the
hold on.
most part, it is.
Okay, come on.
Therapy don't work unless you put in the effort to get to.
We're yeah, right. We're talking against ourselves. We want them to go to therapy, but then therapy doesn't help. Well, come on. They got the
No, not
counselor
I'm
there.
not saying therapy doesn't
No,
help. I'm
not
just
you,
saying
I
that
say. I ain't say you. Don't be a hit dog hollering. Not you. You didn't say it.
oh,
Hey, we know you're a
Hit dog hollering.
this show 9 million times. You know, we know you're
It
a big
seems
dog.
like the therapist dude or the counselor dude is there for the kid's sake, and I feel like the mom is probably just sitting there, just like, and you're gonna keep talking until it's time for you to leave.
Yeah, because
She
she
could
has
be.
but
Oh,
I
I've
mean,
had them moments for
give her
sure.
some grace though. She at least let them come in. She could have just been like, "No, you ain't getting them." You know,
Right.
like
I don't think.
just
I don't think.
imagine what that little boy is going through when he leave. When
I'm
he
about to
leave
say,
all
I
this
hear
stuff
you.
Oh,
I hear you, but it's hard to give grace to a situation when it's like we're able to do what we're doing now in a minute of like a minute clip, and we have no idea what they've been
right, we
going
don't
through
know
for
what's
what.
going on
Like
in
we have
that.
no idea what they've been probably dealing with for a week, months,
but that's what
years.
That's
I'm not trying
definitely
to
trauma.
defend her, but you don't know what she's been through with all them kids by herself. Like
That's
some
not the
parents
kid's
have to
fault
it's
take
though, bruh.
no,
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not that's what I'm saying. I'm not justifying it because no, the kids shouldn't have to go through that. But I'm just saying like we can't just not look at her mental state
but
and say
why?
that like
Why can't we? Because when it's reversed, we don't do it with men. They're just shitty. Not you, Taishay. Not you, September. Before y'all attack me.
No, I get it. Like I feel like she need. I feel like it's her mental state, and I'm speaking from a mother of 6 children,
that's what I'm saying. It's
and
her mental state, but that
being a
needs to
single
be
mom, and
managed.
have
Like
to
that's
experience
the
that type of
issue. Where
situation.
no, don't get me wrong. His mental state is, he needs, the therapy too. But her being the mom and her bringing this on to them just for them to pass it down to their kids. That's what I'm saying. Start with her. She's the one that
She
needs the
needs
mental
it.
work.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does. They all need it together. They need it as a family to be able to, of course, mediate, to know how to handle the situations when they going through stuff like that, especially if it's becoming that serious to the point to where the little boy is shaking and he has to tell his counselor and he doesn't want to talk to his mom about those things. Like those
Alone.
type things, like that conversation, even standing in that living room is probably traumatizing for the mama because he done went over here and done talked to this counselor about what's going on in our house and how my mama treating me.
Mhm.
Like, so now she got more trauma because she probably think he telling
She,
her
And nobody
business.
wants to be told about themselves.
she
No matter if
accepted.
your mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever you are. If you're hearing something about you that you really didn't realize you were doing, it's
You
hard
need
to sit
help.
back and soak all that in. You want to jump on the defense so quick, like, oh, that is not how I am. So
But
it's like
see,
some people don't know
also,
how to like soak that in and be like, okay, let me
but
change
see,
my
when you
way.
put it like that,
I know that thing
it
called
makes it
being
even.
yourself about it. Go ahead,
Go
OJ.
ahead. I was gonna say when you put it like that, it makes it even more difficult though because you gotta. I know at least from my personal experiences with my mom that for example my mom she was single at some point and so like she would date men and I was like a teenager like getting older around this time. I never really took it like that personal, the men she dated, but I would meet them and then they would always try to like either butter me up or just do whatever it is because they know that that's how they get some. So it just is what it is after a while. So it's like I'm just being real with you. So it's like
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that, but yeah.
when it comes down to it, it's like, all right, I know that they want something from my mom. My mom would put us in positions to where we would get something, but it's like it's to make sure that they at least looking out for me. She'll be like, all right, look, you can take me out, but you gotta take my son out too. They be like, all right, cool. How old is he? 12, 13. She'll be like, nah, he about 18, 19. They be like, damn, why can't he get his own food? Because he's home from college. You sound stupid. She be thinking about stuff like that. And so I say that to say sometimes you gotta kids get into a point where they kind of end up having to be like their mom's best friend and they really shouldn't be
Shit, I
like
will.
and but no but it's a double-edged sword because it's like they can be really close but then it gets to moments where like your mom actually is tweaking or she actually is wrong and you can't tell her about herself and
There
now
you
she's
go. Yeah.
disagreeing with you like you are her actual best friend but y'all live in the same house and so it's like you actually are mad at me because of some BS you're doing and you're
Yeah.
not like it's like well hold up ma I need breakfast well fuck your breakfast eat some cereal like it's there are people actually like that and I've seen situations that's happened and usually it's with women and their daughters but it happens with sons a lot too.
Mhm.
When you have trauma, when you have all these issues, you still have ears and can hear. I understand people. Everybody on this screen is dealing with something and doing it. When especially when it comes to children, because we all know a mom's number one job. That's why I always go crazy when a woman chooses a man over a child. I'm like, what are you insane? Like Taisha, you'd never choose a man over your child, no matter how good it is. It's never happened. But we all have ears and we all are capable of listening no matter what traumas we've been through. That was my point there. But I wanted y'all to comment because there was a lot of commenting on that. And it's also part of a social experiment that I've been doing. I've been playing videos around certain circles and I'm playing the same type of videos and I'm hearing the responses when it comes to guys, which from the places that I've been playing it, it's been nuclear. And then when I play the same type of version for a female, it's like, wait, there's some caveats, maybe this, maybe that. And I'm just like, when is the playing field going to be equal? Now, no shit, we know it's been unequal for a long time in favor of men. So we're not going to play like that hasn't been the issue. But I just wanted to get y'all's comments on that. Lo, you didn't say much.
I ain't got much to say. But no, I mean, what I did say was that like a lot of the times,
I'm a great old happy family ass nigga. Fuck you and your good family. You.
because that's what it be like. Because that's what it's gonna be
I
like.
ate old Black Brady Bunch ass. I
No,
had my mama and daddy, and we ate breakfast, and we went to McDonald's ass family.
like nah. I mean, it's not like it was like that. No, hell no. But it's not like I
He
was a
said,
battered
"Nah, nigga, I
child.
do have trauma. What the fuck?"
I have trauma, but I worked through my shit. But also,
Right. Shadow work. You fixing it.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Just like
you gotta fix this
Antonio
shit.
said, like you have to, like when you, especially if you
No,
figure out and you know that you got these problems and you know that you snapping out here, why wouldn't you?
no
Nah, you
motherfucker
need
in
to get
no
this
family is
fixed.
perfect, and they're going to put you through some shit because your parents were human before they had you.
shout out
There's
my
shit that they're
therapist.
going through, and there's shit that they need to be working through. They need to be looking inward as well. Especially when you have kids, because when
I
you have
literally,
kids, they will think whatever issue you're giving to them, it's their fault. They don't know any better,
Yup,
They
and they're going to be trying
yeah.
to think about how they can fix the stuff that you're putting them through. They don't know.
actual.
My mom is going through some shit. She needs to work. They don't know that. They think I fucked up.
Yeah, that
I gotta
is
keep
true.
Like
fixing some shit.
the younger the
That is
kids are, the more of a mirror of the parents that they are.
Hmm.
that
So
is
like
true. Yep.
that's another thing to just keep in mind, just in general, is like if you got something wrong with you, that and you know you got something wrong with you that you need to go to therapy or anything like that, work
Yeah,
through that because your
let's
kids
talk
will
Yeah,
about
reflect that.
and some people think it's cute. It's not. It's really not
it.
cute. Like,
No.
stop being. Oh my gosh! Like, I just get really sad sometimes. Stop doing that. Go get some help. It doesn't. That's not your personality.
Right.
Stop making things that happen in your life your personality. A lot of people do that too.
Yeah, it's trauma.
I kind
It's
of do that
trauma
too.
Sometimes
that
people are
sneaks up.
inherently sad. What we gonna do about it?
Yeah.
We
Shit.
have our Eeyores, but Eeyore ain't always like. I mean, hell, even he got his stuff
I
together
like that you use
sometimes.
that. I'm
Yo,
sitting here like Eeyore. Then I thought about
Eeyore get, but even in that, didn't Eeyore get it together sometimes? Like there will be times Eeyore was still like part of the group, still part of the team, had a solution every now and then.
Yeah, but you were I remember like he never let his sadness, his depression like impact the people that he was hanging out with.
That he
Exactly,
was around. Yeah.
And that
exactly.
and that's
That's a
You
good
something
can
thing.
tell that he was sad though, but he never let it.
he never
He
let it
did.
impact the people around him, which is an issue
Exactly.
that a lot of people have.
Correct.
So that's where
Is
That's a
I agree with
perfect
Low, but
analogy.
it's also like you can still have it together enough to be around people. You feel me?
Yeah, like that's a perfect analogy of like, yeah, you got these problems going on. It shouldn't affect the kid. Like that shouldn't like her issue shouldn't dripple off into the sun like how it did. Like it shouldn't have never had to get to that point.
Hmm.
He shouldn't be able to sit on the couch and be like, when she's having a bad day, everybody in the house is having. He shouldn't have been able to do all that if that wasn't really happening in the household. If
did y'all
she would have been dealing with her emotions.
did y'all have the parents or know people had the parents where even though that clip was being funny, like nigga, did I catch you being happy? I swear to God, if it's a Saturday,
Bro.
can't sit on the couch
I have strict
for
parents.
2 seconds and
So
enjoy life.
nah, my
It was
mom was
a
like that, respectfully.
like,
Couldn't
Daddy,
I
stand that.
did you
Mhm.
go in there and clean your room? I did it when I woke up this morning. Well, then get in there and clean that bathroom. I did it afterwards. And in my head, I'm like, because I knew you were going to tell me. Is there any dishes in the sink? No, I did that. The trash,
I
I took
knew.
the trash out. And then
We
you
needed.
fold them
I
clothes
don't
in the dryer.
couldn't
Well,
do
I
nothing.
folded the clothes. It's like that
Back
one clip
there.
when the guy said, and I folded the clothes already. And she said, well, what the hell haven't you done? And he said, sleep. It's like you have these parents so that there's like, if you have one moment of peace, it's like, why you not
and
doing something? Like, God
for
damn.
me, and I really don't want to like toot my own horn or nothing, but like I learned at a young age what it is my parents wanted, and my parents are African and shit. They're strict as shit. Like have your
Uh,
housework done if you're trying to get outside. And I knew after a
Yeah,
few times of me not having my housework done when I asked, "Hey, mommy, can I go
you ain't.
outside?" You ain't going outside. You can't have no
that's
friends over.
different. That's
Did you clean
different
the
though.
kitchen? Did you clean the bathroom? Did you know? So I make sure that that shit was done.
That's
Ah,
different though.
But I understand there
so
are some people who were very
your parents
like,
always kept their word.
That's different though. That's a parent that has some standards
They ain't
and
fold
things
on their
to do.
boundaries, huh?
Right.
They had boundaries.
That's
They
what
have
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
boundaries for
Yes.
sure.
You ain't crossing this. You ain't
That's
clean
When
your room,
they
you ain't going outside.
when they say you're gonna
They
get
have
an
no fun.
allowance, you actually got it. Yep. Yep, yeah, see,
We didn't
that
get an
must have been
allowance.
nice. That must
this
have been
ain't the
real
parents.
nice.
This ain't the
Yeah.
parents we
And
talking
that's
about.
if I had an allowance. I wish I
We
had an
need to have
allowance though, but
a episode of this because I feel like there's a lot we could talk about
Yeah,
on this.
this ain't the
Yeah,
parents.
for
For
sure.
sure.
We
This
definitely
ain't the
should.
parents we talking about. Every time we talk about shitty people, we pivot back to people who's doing it the right way. We ain't talking about them people. We're talking
I
about the
should I can tell you by the time I
let
bought
me
my
shut my
dad's
ass up then.
groceries.
Taisha wrap up.
Mhm.
I didn't hear what.
I had Matt wrap up.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like with all of this though, it kind of makes me wonder about the whole Diddy and his mom thing too. But that,
Oh, don't
yeah,
get started
yeah.
again.
Because I'm just like I feel like that's how it is. That's how it was
Mm,
with him. He got a lot of issues because of how his mama is. And the
I,
video we
Yeah.
seen last time is kind of showing, a
I
little bit
will
of
say
What you mean?
there
Hold
have
on,
been
Dion.
studies.
Hold on, Dion, because I'm gonna let you go. What you mean, Taisha? She was talking about clean floors.
flat.
That's what I'm
We ain't
saying.
going
Like
there. No.
I'm just saying those patterns, like what we were just talking about with our parents and whatever.
I got
Diddy,
you.
like that the
Yeah,
video that we seen, it's kind of the same thing. It's
yeah.
like he
Yeah,
learned step by step
that's a
from his
scene that we're
Hmm.
mom.
not gonna be able to ever unsee.
Exactly,
Go ahead, Dion, because I know you don't
learned
know what you're talking
behavior.
about.
Yeah. Actually, adding on to the whole learn behavior thing. There have been
Flat.
studies done where it's like, and it could have happened to Diddy too. Um,
Diddy.
when yeah, I heard it as soon as I said it. But at a younger age, like there have been studies done where people who have been groomed and who have had these things happen to them at a young age do it at an older age as well. And so
Exactly.
and a big issue that
Mm,
like is happening here is in the industry it's common not just because it's not stigmatized the way it should be and not just because like people are desensitized to the way kids are treated in that industry, but it's also like the kids being treated in the industry that way. There is a likelihood that they end up doing the same thing to other people because they think it's okay, or because like that switch in their brain that tells them that it's wrong is no longer there because they were treated that way as a
Right.
kid.
Exactly.
right.
And a
That's
lot of the
also
times it
true.
starts in the home. Think about Michael Jackson. Like that stuff starts in
Jeffrey
the home.
Dahmer.
Well,
Yeah, like
especially if
they
you
Very
don't.
they
dramatic
repeated the stuff that
example, but yeah.
they
Learned
been through.
behavior.
Well, especially if you
Right.
don't have somebody in your life to steer you wrong. Because listen, I remember when I was talk to counselors, it used to piss me off because of what I said happened to me twice. They're like, "Well, and they'd always give me that stack. You're prone to do it." I was like, no." And they're like, "Why do you think that?" It's like because I'm not a shitty person, and my brain's not wired that way.
Hmm.
We're learning so much about brain chemistry. We're learning some things that some people are wired a certain way, and when you exploit them, they turn out that way. And we're learning that sometimes, no matter what you do, just like we've seen the kid with terrible parents, and you're like, how are those your parents? You're so successful. And we've seen the kid with awesome parents, and they ain't worth a damn. So it's got a lot to do with a lot of things. It's so much that goes into how someone is molded from their youth. I always say this because people always, the children, fuck the children. The children are just like
Them
everybody
kids.
else. The,
Hello.
the children are just like adults. There's some winners and there's some damn losers. I'm sorry. There just are. I've seen some kids that's 8 years old and I'm like, you're a piece of crap.
No, dead
You
ass.
are. But I mean, no. I can tell by the way you move, you ain't shit. You need to fix that.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely have to discuss the whole personalities and the learned behaviors, the shitty personalities. We're gonna have to have another episode of that.
Yeah.
I would definitely tune
I
in and I'll
I
be
am a
listening.
psychology minor, so it is
Oh, that would be
God.
good. Yeah.
You said minor.
By the way, audience, never date one of those. You don't want to be assessed every
They're gonna
time
be they're gonna
you
be
have a
analyzing the fuck out of you. I don't know about that.
I'm a Virgo. That comes natural. We do that
conversation.
anyway. So.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave it on this note, and this note is for the audience because I never end. I'm gonna end it on this note. If you ain't about shit, and the person you with ain't about shit, Don't have kids. Good night.
Period.